there's definitely more people.
Everybody in? Come on over to the side here.
Who are we talking to here?
Oh.
I see. Oh, hello. Oh. Greetings.
Greetings.
Hello, hello.
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 All right. The commander back here yet?
I just saw him in the grass up there.
Yep. He's
being
ushering
slow.
people this way.
My room is so hot right now. Ugh.
Hmm.
How does this stuff work? Oh, yeah, you'll have to get Discord for sure.
Oh, seems I'm not the only one with one of these bugs.
Why would you?
Okay.
Sorry, we're late, guys.
Look, he's actually standing by her. He hasn't done that in so long. Holy heckin'.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. Miriam, is there any way you could check with the commander and see if he can make his way down here?
I'll go.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay.
I heard Miriam, but cannot see Miriam.
She's right across from me,
On the ledge.
She's above you.
above you and to your left.
Hi.
Discord.com,
here.
I guess? Or
There she
Oh,
is. I do
I
this.
you did not have to
think
get
just
down.
.com.
I'm not getting down.
How are you doing, Miriam?
I'm good.
Brain potassium.
I'll be right back. I have to go
I found the green juice.
turn my damn air conditioner
I am
down. It
jealous
is
of
like
you
90 degrees in my
immensely.
room.
There's a bunch of alcohol down in the box.
Do not
Anybody want-
worry.
Be careful
It's-
about drinking green liquid. Last time I did, I started peeing green.
Oh no.
Oh my.
That's clearly not healthy.
No, it was unstable substance.
Oh
Don't
no.
do that,
Eh?
dummy.
So you decided to drink unstable substance. You did not have a foul odor.
He's not the only one that's done that. I know
I
it's
am
starting
not
to
A
work
foul
out kind of
odor?
same.
I'm not understanding this.
Like,
Sorry.
I imagine it is like asparagus.
It's in the
Unstable-
bloody name. You don't
Unstable
drink
substance.
something that is unstable.
Why would anyone drink that kind of stuff?
Doctor's
I don't
Why
orders.
know.
not?
Trust-
Have you
what-
tried
what-
it?
What do you mean? Why would
I-
anyone drink anything, eh?
All right.
I don't know.
To yes, Miriam. You are so lucky. You keep so lucky. You know that. So lucky.
Ophelia looks
All
bored.
right. I see that big, bright, white mass coming through.
Hi.
Yep.
Very good.
Hi.
Commander?
Mm-hmm. It's you.
All right. Thank you all again for coming. I know that this is kind of an unusual time for us to have this kind of a conversation, but this is what the intention is. This will be a conversation. This will be us coming together and having a general rule of engagement, so that we know how not to have unnecessary casualties and drain all of our healers of everything that they have after the fight is completed. So as for some suggestions, Tide, if you're willing, our conversation the other day, do you mind recounting the initial thoughts?
Where's Tide? Oh, down there.
Well, as far as I remember, our general rule of thumb going forwards was that we were going to try and separate people into certain regiments that will deal with the encounter in certain ways, to avoid crossfire and potential friendly fire, and to give the gods as much time and space as they need. From what I remember, we said that those of a magical or ranged proficiency would be the ones to deal with assisting the gods, because they could do this from a range, as is the nature of what they do. And those who are more martially trained will be dealing with the spawn of whatever Typhon brings with him. And those who can heal, mend, and triage are to be taken to a point in which we can set up a triage unit, something that is both movable and relatively comfortable for those who have been injured. We don't want another occurrence of the crowbar being completely saturated with the wounded. We need somewhere they can be dealt with and potentially either put back on the field or taken somewhere more permanent to deal with the greater of the injuries. The last time was a clusterfuck, and that is to put it lightly.
Do you have any idea of where Typhon will land, so to speak, so we can figure out where exactly would be the best place to put such a thing?
That is the purpose why we have mostly mobile, smaller tent units, if you will. We have a bag up front at Milithos that we will show, which contains the most basic supplies. 1 or 2 tents, beds, medical supplies. We would recommend to have those at hand if needed, so that we can set up anywhere.
Alright.
Additionally, one of the components that we had been discussing is finding the fastest, most fleet-footed among us to spread the word to each house to call to arms. Because, as before, when the trumpet rolled out, we had no idea what was going on or where. So, I think it would be beneficial to have that sort of call to arms.
There was also the subject of nominating a single person for each of these regiments to be calling the orders. You can imagine when Typhon rears its head again, there are going to be a lot of voices trying to deliberate what is going to be happening. And I believe having a single voice over a dozen would better organize things for us and prevent confusion.
Given the spread that tends to happen, especially as gods of their height tend to move a lot, there was a thought that Crixus provided, actually, that I thought was pretty beneficial. Crixus, do you mind to elaborate on the idea of smaller groups?
You mean the battle groups?
Yes.
Basically, it would work like this. We would separate the people willing to fight into 3 separate battle groups, each equipped with a vanguard, your mid-range combatants, and your archers and mages, with healers, of course. Each regiment would be commanded by a single person, that one voice we were talking about a second ago. This would allow that orders to be given quickly and precisely, so that we may move to engage wherever these monsters appear, because they will. Fact of the matter is, I've been walking around, and it would seem that some people are oblivious that this is going to happen. This is going to happen.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yes.
And where.
Yeah, quite unfortunate.
So an accurate plan needs to be had so that we can avoid losses. However, I cannot guarantee that there will not be any losses. However, it is in our power to mitigate that. That is what we are here for today. These 3 regiments, taking on wherever needed, etc. Continue.
Thank you. So these are the plans, and the overall goal here, to remind everyone, is just for us to disseminate this information to our houses and to kind of reach an agreement to how we can engage where we don't lose lives. Because I've grown to love these lands and each and every one of you, and the thought that anybody would perish, unacceptable.
I'm going to interject here because I want some clarification. This is the plan, this is an idea, not one that's going to be forced on everyone. Am I correct in that?
That's absolutely right.
All right, because I'm going to make it crystal clear. Everyone here knows I'm outspoken. This is war. We are going to lose people, but of course we want that to be less. I'm not going to agree to anything stupid.
Fair enough. So, to that effect, does anybody have any suggestions that would help mitigate loss of life?
Oh, I do have
I
a suggestion,
do.
if I may.
Oh, alright.
Go ahead.
You see, there is a strong enemy in great numbers. There is really only one way how to defeat them. We need to find a narrow corridor and lead them to it. But their numbers would count for nothing!
Perhaps kick them into a pit.
That works too!
This is the dumbest thing I've heard.
It's not without its merits.
Actually quite smart.
Aegis,
I don't think it's smart at all.
Aegis, Estaio, and I actually came up with a possible kill zone of some sort. A place where we can potentially, if the circumstances are right, lure any of the larger creatures into an area that will provide us pre-established either ordnance, traps, or whatever have you, to dispatch them. So, as silly as it sounds, the concept, at the very least, of having some kind of ambush zone fundamentally isn't that bad of an idea.
I very much like the idea of an ambush. We'll need an enticing target, though.
Actually, who was there for the Diavi situation?
A lot of
Which
people.
one?
Inbred
The obvious situation.
Yes, there was
When everybody.
several.
Okay, well, whenever people were making moves against them, not only was Milithos making the moves, but we already pre-established making explosives.
Hi!
We have a
Mr.
whole
Whiskers.
quantities amounts of explosive jars and Alarican fire barrage and Alarican barrels.
I suppose
Right.
that works so long as Typhon is by himself.
We even have, and we could possibly make trebuchets, but they're right now in the possession of Perry. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I believe that might act as our artillery of sorts, or setting up some kill zones.
And if you hit Zeus.
Well, we're going.
On that point, actually, before we get any further, I wanted to relay Nasus's suggestions, as he could not be here for the council. He suggested that the gods should be the ones to handle Typhon. As he is the lord of monsters, it will be very apparent that he will bring monsters with him. We should focus there, instead of bothering Typhon himself, in lieu of accidentally messing up whatever Zeus has planned.
Actually, not a bad idea.
We are assuming that the ordinance that we can provide will do anything at all.
Now, that is something I would actually make a mention on. From what we saw from our last encounter, Typhon is not entirely immune, but very resistant to small arms, ergo small weapons like swords, blades, and arrows. However, he has been proven to be at least less resistant to magic. Magic does have a noticeable more and larger effect on him. So if you are forced to engage Typhon, try and stick to magic if you can. And if you don't have magic, fall back or have an enchanted blade at hand. Again, this is in the event that you are forced into the encounter.
And if you will, consider this. You have a group of fighters that are throwing their arms downrange and effectively shoving Typhon in the direction that the gods are pushing him towards. As he goes, you know that he's going to send monsters after those that are attacking him. And as that happens, that's where the rest of us come into play. Marshall will stand and marshal. We will be the bulwark that protects our casters and our healers. And the healers will keep everybody alive as much as possible.
Do we have any idea what kind of creatures he will be summoning, though?
We do not.
That's why we were planning to have the traps for those bigger ones.
We must also realize that a large majority of this is going to be adaptation. That's why there needs to be some sort of organization.
Exactly. There's only so much we can pre-prepare for this. The most we can do is get our bearings and at least try to bring what we can to bear at the given time.
Exactly.
If I may,
everything you have.
what we need is a strong backup plan. If none of this works, we need to try something unconventional.
No.
I propose
Yeah.
seduction.
What?
Where is he?
You're more than welcome to swing your willy at him, but I'm pretty
I
sure
volunteer
you'll be in
Vasilios.
charge
Not
of
good with
that.
seduction,
Where is
trust
he?
me. Don't.
I'm dead serious. Where is he?
I said I
He's
volunteer
over there.
Vasilios.
He's behind me, Thana.
No, just leave.
Theodorus, I swear to you, you are so lucky I cannot find you, because if I could, I would put my blade in you for your stupidity. Shut up. This is war. Shut up for once in your life.
This me's looking pretty good right now.
Stupid. As if we're not going to die or something. Shut up.
I think he just wants to play with the
Seduction,
tentacle. I think that is what it is. It is a bit of a fetish thing, you know. You
A
don't-
fetish thing.
Yeah.
Go play with yourself if you want to do this.
Anyway,
Well, that
Can we get
escalated.
back to order, please?
Aye.
please.
As far as the plan goes, that is what we are trying to establish, something base, something that we can rely on that will filter into the adaptation. With the battle groups, as I mentioned before, these would be able to react quickly to different lines of defense, go where needed, etc., instead of everyone running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yes,
Will we
Van
be getting
Bush.
Will we be getting any support from Hades, or any support from the underworld?
There has been no communication with Hades since, but since our first foray into the underworld, he did say he would at least be speaking to Zeus. So there is a chance at the very least.
Well, someone did get his blessing. Let's hope that turns out the way it turns out.
As far as logistics go, I believe Typhon will logically be trying to aim for the gods themselves, perhaps their temples. Those are, in my mind, very rich and very vulnerable targets.
They're going to war against Typhon, who is like
If he can
the
get rid
king
of the
monsters,
gods,
I
then
think
we're
she just
basically a
said.
walking cake for him.
Exactly.
Or want to defend the temples?
Yes, if that's the case, then we sort of already have a line, if you will, of where he would go. And if that's the case, if we are breaking people into groups like that, then we already have our front lines and our places of defense.
That is the idea behind the battle groups, yes. To organize them more quickly and to ensure that, well, once this happens, we can react quickly to wherever we need to go.
Now, with that being said, the way these battle groups would be formed is with each house that is willing to fight and their members that are willing to fight. We would talk with them separately, figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and put them in battle groups accordingly. You would know your battle, please.
Well,
I think, well, if I may, I also think that we also need to establish some sorts of formations or organization. In battle, chaos is usually the worst enemy of those that are attempting to do anything, really.
That is exactly the purpose behind what we are talking about here.
And you'd better hope Eris doesn't show up.
Oh god.
True.
Why did you have to say the name?
The fact of the matter is that I also realize that many people have different specialties. I think that those with shields might go well with those that use spears. Kind of like a phalanx, one might say.
We have our
Did someone just say phalanx?
Yes, Theo, I said
I
phalanx.
love Theo.
The fact of the matter is that I think that even if we don't necessarily all fight as houses, we need to at least find out which styles complement each other. I, for one, know that since my primary weapons are the claws, I know that I have to jump in head first, so I need to find a way to be able to complement with other people so that I don't end up hitting my own teammates.
And I would say then, in that case, if we prearrange by who's here and who is associated to the groups here, the groups who will be going to these certain areas, these 3 battle groups of ours, if we prearrange them, then maybe we could have those groups talk amongst themselves about what they believe would be the best course of action for engagement, with what their strengths, what their weaknesses are. And if there are some missing on the day, well, at least they still know who they're working with.
I think that's what Crix has just said, yes.
What about prioritizing targets?
Leave that to the person calling the shots.
Yes.
They'll tell you what to do.
Right. Sorry, I've never been in a war before.
Alright, well, I would just like to say, if we're on the topic of who would be fit for what, I can tell you this right now, as my house, as you would call it, we can promise that maybe 3 or 4 fighters. Most of us are just healers and such, so I don't know how
Don't
much.
say just healers. We will have dedicated use for healers in particular. During and after the fight, you are much needed.
That's
Right.
That's
I
fine.
also-
We start Spring's aim as well. We will. I will be defending the healers, but in whatever capacity needed. But healing is priority for here.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And we will need much of that.
Yes, I also bear I also bear a message from Mangold. They will not be joining in combat, but they will be sending healing supplies and healers, possibly.
Understood. And speaking of healers, that is the 4th component to these 3 battle groups. A mobile triage shall be established by a single house. I personally would like to nominate Starspring, as they have their apothecary and experience in such matters. Now, this is all assuming that everyone here agrees on the plan of splitting the land.
Who's that?
into
Is that Laura?
quick reaction battle groups.
In a very loose term, sort of like a neighborhood watch.
Very loose indeed.
Now, I know that this may sound crazy, but what if there's a possibility of flying targets, or targets that may try to sneak around any kind of defenses?
We can always.
It still holds true.
Yes. We can always talk about the what if, but as I said, this fight is going to be a lot of adaptation.
Yep.
I think it boils down that everyone knows what their task is at that day. We cannot plan any battle moves or any tactics right now, but what we can plan is each group providing a certain amount of healers, certain amount of fighters, and that these
Is it a good
people
thing to
know
link my
what their
Twitch and
task
Steam
is,
with
that they
Discord?
don't
I
have
do.
on the day to figure that out and have to
If I
look
go into channels that I'm a
whom do I
subscriber, it
respond
puts
to,
me in
whom do I
the
belong
subscriber
to.
category
These things can be
too.
figured out beforehand, and
And I
they
know
cut
people
down a
like
lot
that.
of reaction time once needed.
Yep. If there's a particular person in your neighborhood, as Tide put it, that we all know to rally to, then maybe we can, again, cut down on reaction time.
On that note, I would actually like to point out where we have actually noted Typhon appearing. More often than not, it's been somewhere close to water. So, by that we can potentially deduct a general area that he might occur next.
If you go by temples, Poseidon's temple would be probably a prime target.
Precisely my assumption.
Okay. Now, as for rough field strategy, let's see, what do I have here? Aegis, Sana, Indira, Tide, and Theo. Can I use you down here in the arena?
That you can.
Strategic battlements would be pretty nice too. Palisades, things like that.
Please don't inject any more stupidity in this.
No promises.
I don't promise.
Stupidity
Yet, then.
or genius.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
It really
Think out of the box, Dana!
Funny how often the two coincide.
Okay, Thana, as a healer, I would like to place you in the center, if we can.
Alright. You do realize I'm not a healer, right?
I don't
You
know,
represent
heal
a healer
quite
right
bit.
now.
Alright, I'm in the center.
Just play along for now, okay? Indira on her left, Tide on her right. Theo up front, Aegis on the left, and I'll hold back on the right. My job is to keep their back and their flanks covered. Same with Aegis. Anything that comes head on, Theodorus, shields up. And this is it. This is how we can move. Our healers are kept central. Our ranged kept central, and our job is to keep anything that comes in out of the way. And off
There's a
our
bulletin in
range.
town that everyone could have read for their houses.
I personally mean no offense by this, but when this shit starts, formations such as this are gonna go to hell.
They will, but if
Right,
there's a general
right.
consensus on area of responsibility, then call-outs will become necessary, right? Like, okay, we got some on the right.
So it's more akin to a fallback strategy rather than a
Mhm.
consistent formation.
That's right.
What
The
we
goal
need is a
what
strong
you
battle
see
cry.
here.
Okay, just a
Wouldn't
thing.
this be better for medical triage formation and everything?
May I shoot him?
Yeah?
No.
Oh, please.
What? I was raising morale, Hanavitai!
Yes, and so was I.
There.
Thank you, Tide.
Aggressive healing.
Thank you ever so much, Tide. You really saved his life. You really should take her these stairs.
Right.
Okay, if you will bear with me a moment, I'm going to grab the medical supplies and see if this makes sense. I'll be right back.
Ow.
Get fucked.
I thought you were
a
married.
dragon back there.
I am married.
I see.
But you tried to flirt with me.
Oh my god.
I really want to talk about something else they
Come
brought
back
up.
here.
What would that be?
They were talking about a messenger, right? You need someone to run out and go let all the houses know about what's going on?
That is an upcoming point, yes.
Don't beat me up in front of my mother. Tana.
Well, I don't know if every one of the houses will be joining, though.
Get a name of all the
Every
houses
single
that are.
house will be- Yeah.
Get a name of all the houses that are going to fight, and make sure that whoever's assigned the messenger role is aware of all the locations of all the houses. I mean, that's the best bet there.
Right. So who wants to be the messenger?
I can
Who's
I
really
can do it
quick
if
on
you
their
want.
feet? Does anyone have any objections to that?
Objections to what, sorry?
Who's the messenger?
Kreska.
Or Kraska?
I have an objection.
No?
Go ahead, speak.
Better be a good one.
Oh, I was sleeping, sorry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if no one has a problem with that, then Kraska can let everyone know that when shit goes down.
Right.
But
If I may,
yeah, go ahead.
before we go through with all of this and discuss this particular plan in more detail, all of the house heads that are here today, we need a general consensus as if this is what they want to do.
Right.
There may still be some concerns before we move forward.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
We also do have to take into consideration that not everyone has the ears of this little meeting of ours. There will be people getting in the crossfire.
No, yeah, I get it.
I have a
Oh,
suggestion.
yeah.
I have a suggestion to adjust that. I recommend that, if at all possible, and because I have notes on me if that's possible, to everyone write down their name that was here today. If we meet anyone that we know would be willing to fight that was not here today, if any of us here would run into said person, try to direct them to either Milithos or Navi Tide or whoever is more of a spokesperson to can relay the plan again to those that cannot be here. Just in case we've missed people. For example, I don't know if... Oh, I think Rowan is here?
Yeah.
Okay, so at least someone of that house is. But anyone that we see that's not here today, perhaps that would be a good way if we could write down somewhere who's all been here. Then those that haven't, speak to those people if you run into them.
Seeing on this deal, see what he's doing right now.
Oh, and then I just want to point the obvious thing out. Active hero is not much of a help, but don't try to be heroes.
Good luck convincing Theodoros of that.
Yeah. I was hoping
I wasn't
someone else
listening.
would take that chance.
I heard my name.
What a shocker.
I was summoned.
So just
Yeah,
for
sure.
clarification's purposes, there is no consistent plan just yet. Just a bit of everyone understanding what their role is, and there is
Yeah.
nothing forthcoming as what the actual battle standard will be. Eh?
That is accurate. That is what Krixus mentioned earlier. Those houses that want to fight they will be individually approached about actual battle formations, battle plans, how the individual houses can contribute. For now, we're just trying to get everyone on the same page, but where the roles will be assigned.
Oh!
And Kraska is going to be the courier for the messages between the houses, to keep everyone informed.
Surely he should maybe have a partner, just in case.
That was another thing I was going to bring up. I think the courier should probably have a protector.
Well, I can
Protector
come
and
along
backup.
with you.
Just meant generally not at you, but not everyone is always available and awake, so if something happens while you're asleep, there should be at least 1 or 2 people to fall back on.
Right.
Well, I can come along with you, Kraska. I mean, I can keep up with you.
Alright.
There is something else that's...
What I mean is,
Definitely.
one single messenger is not what we should rely on. A single
Exactly,
individual messenger
I was going to say that, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Java. Someone else that's fast with their legs should be on the backup.
Well,
do we have anyone?
I can certainly. Yeah.
There is a
I kind of hate the
something
way
else.
the cape doesn't flow.
I
Like,
think
she
everyone
can't
needs to
even
steel
squat
themselves
down.
and prepare for the fact that
It looks so
everyone might not
weird.
be coming back from this.
That is obvious.
The fact of the matter is, though, is that, regardless, we have a job to do. We have other people that we need to protect as well as this land. And I will not let this place fall. I don't think any of us want that.
No.
And if we have to, we'll all go down fighting. But it would be an honor to die by any single one of you here.
I've never been much of a fighter, but I could say the same. I've known many of you since I first arrived here. And that, I know it's only been a few months, but it feels a lot longer than that.
So,
yeah.
This tent down here is what we are keeping in our field emergency supply kits. And if you care to give it a look, it's something like this that we can lay beds down, work on anybody that's in trouble, get them away from the fight. There's a bag in there with healing potions and wraps, things like that. Additional beds.
Could you just open my doorbell there?
Speaking of potions, should anyone need supplies for anything, let me know. I have been building a lot of stock, and I have a lot to get rid of, so to speak.
I should make some spikes.
I can also make as much stew as anyone needs. I will be trying my best to repair at least 20,000.
The tavern has a lot of stew.
We also have
Oh.
stew to spare if need be.
We never
And a lot
you
of
can never have
everything,
enough stew.
actually.
Donish,
Our house, 20,000.
Yes.
whatever it is that you need for those potions you showed me the other day, let me know. I can give to you.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
I also have one important message to relay if everyone's willing to listen to that. It's something that's been on my mind quite often, and I'm trying to make it as clear as I want, but don't think I'm aiming at anyone directly. Most of the people that know me has known the fact that I've been here for a very long time. At first, when I came here, I knew very little of the people here. But over time I've got to know them. Over time I got to listen to their stories and their problems and whatnot. The main problem I found lately is there's been a lot of poison running to these lands, to its veins, to the people. I would ask every single one of you, and anyone else that you know, if you have any grudges, any problems, any kind of drama with anyone else, to cast this aside, think of the bigger picture, and make sure that you do everything to protect those around you, because that person that you might not like might be the person that saves one of your own that you do like. So just lay it aside and think of the battle ahead, steel yourself, get in resolve, and protect those that you not only care about, but also your friends, and even if you don't like them, we have a bigger enemy right now. So please, cast anything aside that you have that is poisonous. You need to be ready mentally as well.
On that note, Theodoros, you know, I'll be perfectly honest. I've never liked the fact that you were so much better at kicking Persians into pits than I was. There. I said it.
Thank you. I appreciate your insecurities, and I fully respect them. Not all of us were created to kick Persians down wells like us. Maybe one day when you are reborn, you shall have that opportunity.
One can only hope.
Well, you were a battle baby after all.
Yeah.
So, we are coming up on this sleep, and I wanted to give anybody an opportunity to throw out any other ideas that they have. Any thoughts?
Can the opening attack be us launching Crixus with a trebuchet?
All right. I will see you later. I'll be going back to.
I second this.
So long as Theodoros is with him.
I just.
Wow.
That's what we will have a secondary trebuchet.
The only thing I will ask is that if anybody has notes, I would be happy to have notes of this meeting.
I can't hear you. Come here.
The growth, somebody deliver whatever.
Yes.
I am going to go down.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. And if you guys can do me a huge favor, I know I'm not going to be the only one that's a messenger, but I would like it if I could get a list of all the houses and locations, so that I can share it with the other courier as well, so we can get a general idea. Even if there's ones that aren't here that would like to participate in this combat, I need to know their locations as well, who they are. Just if need be, just leave it on our message board, and I will get to it as soon as I can.
And if you don't know where he is, F8 on your map, where the sensations was.
Can I suggest something?
Of course.
All of the healers should wear a specific color or a specific headpiece or something so that they can be differentiated from everyone else.
Actually, that's a good idea.
I vote bright white.
I would just give a fair warning. If the enemy picks up on that, they might start attacking us immediately.
Yes.
Then it
Well,
is important
then
for
it'll
you
make
to
it
think
even
on your
easier
feet.
for you to protect them.
I
I
agree.
feel as though they'll realize who's healing regardless, so.
Yep.
I do have one other question in regards to who's going to be leading this battle group. How are we to let other people
look, we do
know,
not have the
and
draft.
how are we to pick, more importantly?
Be quiet, Miriam. Be quiet.
I've suggested that. What you make do
Well.
is if you get the battle groups, that's the other part you have to figure out is the battle groups and who are in that group. But at the moment of time, the leader can also have a color, perhaps,
Make
as long as the group
executive
consents.
decision on what the healers will wear. If they don't wear it, then
White hoods.
No.
Easy. Done.
there you go.
And just so everyone remembers, I still have this. So,
oh god,
you know.
Useful.
As far as your question, Tide, about the battle group commanders, we a general consensus of it all, who the lands feel think is fit to make the right decisions and adapt correctly. That will be determined in time. It is only fair that we let the lands vote.
Alright.
Understood.
So, now it comes down to it. Who'll be willing to fight alongside in hopes to defeat Typhon and his small monsters and big monsters
Well,
while helping the gods.
let's play it like this. How about we have a public board somewhere where we can put a list of the 3 specific groups and then have names listed under each. That way we're not liable to forget and we know our placement when the time comes.
That would probably be
Tomorrow
best.
would be a prime location for that.
Indeed.
Okay, quick question. I'm just going to throw this out here. Leander, would you be willing to at least be a rally point for Highlands and North.
The Black Lotus will do that, yes.
Excellent. Tide, can the Crowbar be a rally point for the deserts and the river dwellers?
Of course. I might be the only one currently active there alongside Epeals, but I would consider it a pleasure. It's not like it's the first time it's going to have happened.
Exactly. And I know I'll nominate ourselves. We have a board. Same thing. Please feel free to, if you live in the jungles, leave a board or a message with who's willing to participate and where you're from. I'll personally collect this information and get it to Kraska and make sure that he's got the information he needs.
Right, and Belladors is going to be the backup courier, by the way. I know we were mentioning about that.
We're often together and in close contact, though, so...
Very good. Alright, everybody. I really do appreciate your time today. I know that this is going to be a tough time, but I have faith in each and every one of you.
I will say one thing. Crixus, you're right. Formations will be broken up. We have no idea what sort of nightmares Typhon will bring with him. But it's important for all of us to remain malleable, to be able to respond to anything.
That's exactly the point of this plan. I agree with you.
Just hit it till it's dead.
Who is going to place up the notes in Zamora, then?
Tide? Are you game?
Alright, I'll have to keep track of that, then. No, it's logistics nonsense. I'm sure I'll manage.
I know the nap is coming soon, but I just would like to throw this out there for those people who are don't partake to healing magic very well. What do we do in that situation? Are we gonna have designated bandage people?
As I said,
I think there's several people who can.
We have potions, we have bandages, we have every form of healing that we can do, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Just
You have actually several people who have already expressed that they cannot do healing magic, but they know how to apply bandages, how to stop bleeding. So we will have all kinds of healing available, basically.
Again, thanks everyone. Be safe, and we'll stand together. We'll get through this.
Be sure to keep me apprised of who's going to be in which battle group. I'll try and keep track of it, and keep a notice up on the Zamora board for that matter.
I will ask around my fighters and figure out where they stand and everything like that. But
Very good.
Most
you
of
know
them are
where to
frontline
find me
fighters.
otherwise.
Hey.
You know what the hell I am.
Well, of course.
I obliterate everything.
Well, exactly. You can count my bladed.
Even my own team.
Care to speak after the nap tide?
Of course.
I have a request to make.
I'd be delighted, Leander.
Thanks you all.
Do you still have time for the preparations we talked about?
That's
I'm going to.
We can
Yes, you may,
that
but-
after my talk with Leander.
Yeah,
Very
it won't
good.
be too long.
No worries, just wanted to make sure that that's something that can happen.
Alright.
Oh, I guess I should say, just in case all of us die, I'll see you all in the next life.
Try not to think like that.
Already been there.
I mean, Hades, right? That is
Yeah,
the
I know, I'm
such
fucking
thing as an
here.
extent.
Yeah, so try to show me around.
I don't have to bring
the
all
good
of you
places
back.
are.
I believe you'll
Well,
see me, but you
Pfizer.
may not recognize me.